Sunday afternoon, coffee going cold next to your laptop. You are staring at your retirement account balance, and you feel nothing. Not proud, not panicked. Just this quiet uncertainty. Is this good? Is this where I'm supposed to be? Because nobody ever actually tells you. Nobody sits you down and says, here is what on track actually looks like. You just guess. Compare yourself to some number you heard somewhere and wonder. I am 75 years old, and I spent the first 3 years of my retirement asking that exact question. Today, I am going to answer it for you. 6 signs that you are actually ahead, even if it does not feel like it. And I promise you, by the time we finish, most of you are going to feel a lot better than you did when you sat down. Before I get into the first sign, I want to tell you something important. None of these 6 signs require a high income. None of them require a finance degree. None of them require perfect timing or a fancy advisor. Every single one of them is about behavior, about the quiet decisions you make when nobody is watching. And sign number 6 is the one that separates people who retire comfortably from everyone else. I will save that one for last. But trust me, you will want to hear it. Sign 1. Your investing is boring. First sign you are ahead. Your investing's boring. Genuinely, nothing to see here, boring. You set up automatic contributions years ago, and now it just happens. Every paycheck, without you touching anything. That might not sound like a sign of being ahead, but it absolutely is. Because the single biggest destroyer of long-term retirement savings is not picking bad stocks. It is inconsistency. It is the months where life gets expensive and you tell yourself, just pause for a little while. And then the market dips and you get nervous. And suddenly, a year has gone by and you have skipped 12 months of compounding. I think about it like a snowball rolling downhill. The further it rolls, the bigger it gets. But if you keep picking it up and moving it back up the hill every time you feel anxious, you are just undoing the physics that were working for you. My friend Dale, retired accountant, contributed automatically for 31 years. Never touched it. Never paused it. Not in 2008, not in 2020. He told me once, I did not make good investment decisions. I just made one good decision and then refused to undo it. That one decision was worth more than everything else he did combined. If your investing is automatic and you barely think about it, that is not laziness. That is financial maturity. You built a system that works without you. Sign 2. Your savings rate is climbing. Second sign. Your savings rate is moving in the right direction. Now here is something most people get wrong. Everyone obsesses over investment returns. What is the market doing? Should I be in growth funds? Is this the right index? But for most people, your savings rate matters more than your return rate. A lot more. If you are saving 5% and earning 10%, okay. But if you are saving 20% at 7% return, you end up dramatically better off because you are feeding the machine more, giving compounding more to work with. The general guidance is 10 to 15% minimum. People who retire comfortably are usually at 20 to 30. Now I know what you are thinking. Easy to say. Life is expensive. Fair. But the question is not whether you're at 25% today. The question is, are you moving in the right direction? Every time you got a raise, did you let lifestyle inflation swallow it whole? Or did you quietly bump your contribution before you got used to the new number? If you have done that even once, you are ahead of most people. Sign 3. You know what you own. Third sign. You know what your money is actually invested in. This sounds obvious. It is not. Most people know they have a 401k. They know money goes in. They have a vague sense it is in the market somewhere, but they could not tell you their allocation without logging in and checking right now. People who retire comfortably know their allocation, not down to the decimal point. That level of obsession is its own problem. But broadly, what percentage is in stocks versus bonds, whether they are tilted domestic or international, and whether that allocation still makes sense given how many years they have left. Here is the principle. The more time you have, the more risk you can carry, because you have time to recover from downturns. A 35-year-old can afford a rough year. A 65-year-old cannot afford the same gamble. The mistake I see most often, people set their allocation at 40 and forget to adjust it as they age, taking more risk than they should right before they need the money most. If you know what you own, and you have thought about whether it still fits where you are in life, You are miles ahead of the person just watching a number fluctuate and hoping. Sign 4. You are using the tax advantages. Fourth sign, and this one genuinely surprises people. You are using your retirement accounts properly, not just contributing something, actually using them. Here's the thing most people do not fully understand. The tax advantages of a 401k or IRA are not minor. They are enormous. They are the closest thing to a legal wealth-building shortcut that exists for regular people. Traditional 401k, money goes in pre-tax. If you are in the 22% bracket and you contribute $10,000, you just saved $2,200 in taxes. This year, immediately. Roth, you pay taxes now. The money grows completely tax-free, and withdrawals in retirement do not count as income. Both are powerful. What matters is you are using them. And here is the sign you are ahead. You are not just contributing enough to get the employer match and stopping there, because leaving match money on the table is turning down free money. Nobody should do that. If you are contributing 15 to 20%, capturing the match, and maybe funding a Roth IRA on the side, you are doing something the overwhelming majority of Americans are not doing. That's a real advantage, one that compounds silently for decades. Sign 5. You know your number. Fifth sign. You know your number. Not a vague sense that more is better. An actual reason-based figure. Here is how to think about it. Estimate what your annual expenses in retirement will be. Some costs go down. Commuting, work clothes, maybe a mortgage. Some go up. Healthcare, travel, leisure. Then apply the 4% rule. Simple version. If you expect to need $80,000 a year in retirement, divide by 0.04. Your rough target is $2 million. Social Security offsets some of that. A pension helps if you have one. But here is why this sign matters so much. When you have a number, you stop just accumulating. You start tracking progress against a real goal. The difference psychologically is enormous. It is the difference between running and running towards something. When you can look at your balance today, project it forward, and see yourself landing somewhere close. That is not just math. That is clarity. That is the thing that stops you from panicking every time the news gets loud. If you have a number, even a rough one, you're ahead. Sign 6. The one that separates everyone, and here it is. Sign 6. The one I promised you at the beginning. You have lived through at least one serious market crash, and you did not sell. Though that is it. I know. Sounds simple. It is not. Because I want to be honest with you. I do not think there is a single investor alive who feels nothing when the market drops 20% in 3 months. You would have to be made of stone to watch your account drop by a year's salary and feel absolutely nothing. The emotional response is human. The question is what you do with it. And the answer for people who retire comfortably is almost always nothing. Nothing that deviates from the plan. This is harder than it sounds, because when the market is dropping, there are very smart-sounding reasons to sell. Serious people with serious faces, telling you this time is different. They might even be right in the short term. But here is what they never tell you. Even when they are right in the short term, selling locks in your losses and leaves you with an impossible second question. When do you get back in? My neighbor Harold sold everything in March to 2020. Retired engineer, smart man. He was going to wait until things stabilized. By the time he felt safe enough to get back in, he had missed the fastest market recovery in history. He lost more money trying to protect his money than he would have lost doing absolutely nothing. If you have lived through a serious downturn, 2008, 2020, anything, and you held the line, you demonstrated one of the most valuable financial behaviors a long-term investor can have. Doing nothing during chaos is a skill, a hard-earned, deliberately practiced skill, and most people never develop it. Let me bring this together. None of these 6 signs require luck. None of them require a high income. None of them require perfect timing. They're all about behavior, about systems, about the quiet decisions you made when nobody was watching and nothing felt certain. Automatic contributions, a savings rate moving in the right direction, knowing what you owned, using your tax advantages, having a number, and holding the line when everything felt like falling. That is it. If you recognize 3 or 4 of these in yourself, that is not nothing. That is decades of future stability. That is the thing that eventually means you wake up on a Monday morning and you do not have to go anywhere if you do not want to. And if you looked at this list and felt like you have some gaps, that is okay too. Pick one, just one. Automate something you have not automated yet. Look up what your allocation actually is. Sit down this weekend and find your number. You do not have to fix everything at once. You just have to keep moving in the right direction. And honestly, the fact that you are here asking these questions, thinking about this, that already puts you ahead of most people who are not thinking about it at all. I will see you next week. Pull up a chair.